What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 536th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I am your host, Steve. With me is Greg.
Hello, I have two updates. One update. My relationship with Professor Sycamore in Pokemon Masters is really moved to the next level. Unprompted, buys me gifts, offers to make me tea, says he's very excited to hear my stories. So, things are going great.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
We need
I
to
don't
get
mess
this on
this
your
one up.
TikTok.
I know. I have to change my TikTok. No, because the minute those other people on my TikTok show up, bye, you're kicked out of the lodge. I'm talking to different people. Two, I've officially reached the dread part of my excitement for Scarlet and Violet.
The dread part.
Yeah. The part where the sinking dread of what if it's horrible, what if I hate it more than I hate Gen 2 has set in as the natural ebb and flow of
Roselia?
excitement. No, it's just because anytime I'm excited for anything, right as it gets close to it coming out, my brain's like, psst, what if it's bad? And then the dread comes in, and then I work through my dread before I get to the game or whatever I'm watching so that I'm in the acceptance phase and I can just enjoy what happens. I get the dread out early, and we're there right now. We are in full Scarlet and Violet dread mode.
Yeah. The thing you have to try to meditate on is worrying about the future neither changes the future nor makes today any better. So just focus on the now.
Will is here.
And yes, my official announcement, the season you've all been waiting for, even more important than PSL season. I have reactivated my Sling.com subscription because Hallmark is showing Christmas movies. Countdown to Christmas has begun. Get into it.
Also, I have a question, though. Have you started Gardenscapes up again?
No, that's never going to happen.
Okay.
No. I am on Cut the Rope and Angry Birds because Apple conned me into doing the pay one price for all the services. So now I have Apple Arcade. And boy, the one thing that they could have told me that would have had me subscribed years ago was you can get the good Angry Birds and the good Cut the Rope back again because they hid them in Apple Arcade. I'm just waiting for them to put Dizzy Bee up in there, and I am like, I'll quit my job because I will play Dizzy Bee. I will stream Dizzy Bee on my most hated service, Twitch, for money.
Mine too.
That's how much I love that game.
Are the bees in Dizzy Bee real bees?
There is one bee. There is one Dizzy Bee who is saving his fruit friends.
Is it a real bee, though?
Why wouldn't it be? He goes,
well, I don't know.
Bzz, bzz.
I've been told all the bees I thought were bees were lies at this point
have
from
you
a
ever
certain
played Dizzy
from a
Bee?
certain ex-guest.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. So now that the Dizzy Bee conversation from 2009 has happened, we have a show for you guys today. Most of the show has already been recorded, and it was up on YouTube on Friday. If you were a premium subscriber, it came out early for you guys. If you're a regular, we are at the mercy of our ad deals that have to come out on Monday. That's this episode. So we actually only have one ad this week.
It's the oops all ads episode.
Yeah, it was just gonna be 50 minutes of ads, and then the thing that you already heard on YouTube. So if you missed that, if you only get your news through the podcast feed, and you're like, I don't go to the YouTube, I don't have premium, what are you talking about? 2 weeks ago, I went to New York. Nintendo and the Pokemon Company invited me out. I played an hour of Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. And then I asked them a bunch of questions, and they said, this is what you're allowed to talk about. This is not what you're allowed to talk about. And then I did a 90-minute episode with Greg and Will, and they were the audience of, like, these are the questions I have, and I answered them the best I could. I will say a funny thing that happened is I had to, like, go back because there was, like, 3 times that Greg was like, this game sounds 0 out of 10. And this is my fault. This is not Greg's fault. But one of the very strict rules in the contract I signed was, like, you are not allowed to give this game a score.
I mean, that's not a score. It's just nothing. It's a 0.
Funny thing that happened, Captain Clickbait named the video We Played Pokemon Scarlet.
And we did nothing.
Did nothing.
We sat and listened to you talk about a thing you did without us.
We sounds better than I.
No, it doesn't. It's false advertising. It's clickbait.
Do you know what's actually clickbait? You know what's actually unreal? I did use the word we as in like there's three of us and there was like an open conversation there. But yeah, I could understand how that's clickbait. Do you know what's actually clickbait though? Was that I saw the amount of other creators say that they played 2 hours. Like
I did see that. Yeah.
and then I saw one ambitious enough to say I played over 2 hours. Like why is that? Why did that lie need to be told? Like, you could just say you played Scarlet and Violet. I don't think anyone is looking at 2 different YouTube videos and be like, oh, this person said they played Scarlet and Violet, but this person said they played over 2 hours.
How did they justify saying when you were put at an hour time limit?
Because the meeting was 2 hours long, I think is how they're trying to like when I got to the meeting, they like lined us all up, and then there was this very nice lady, and she was like, I am the Pokemon expert here. This is my job at Nintendo, and here I am reading you the NDA. These are the things you are not allowed to talk about. These are and then like she was excited too. She was like, I can't wait for you to experience like Mela, and she's like, I can't wait for you to experience the gym leader. Like that whole segment of getting there, waiting for like the couple people were late, signing the NDA. That was like the first half hour of the appointment, and then they sat us down and then we played for an hour, and they were timing us. They were like, hey, you guys got 20 minutes left, hey, you guys got 10 minutes left. And then when it was done, they had us all like go back to like the mingling area, and then they were setting up the raid battle, and we went back, and the raid battle couldn't be more than 10 minutes because there's a 10-minute timer on the raid battle. We did the raid battle, and then they had us put down our controllers, and then they were like, okay, well, do you have any other questions or concerns? And that was the whole 2 hours. And then they promptly kicked us out because they had to like rotate in the next group of 4 people, because it was 4 people, and then rotate out 4 people, rotate out 4 people. They had snacks. I didn't say that. They had fancy sodas, like sodas in glass bottles I didn't have any. I get very nervous at these like events. I know that it's like corporations throw a bunch of money and they like have like a refreshment area, but I always get like, I don't know, I always feel like somebody's judging me if I go over and I grab like
What school luncheon hurt you that you have the option to take fancy New York sodas and you don't even take one? What was the brand even?
Because I will say 2 things, and this is probably the Gen Xer in me saying this. Let's make this clear multiple times. The Gen Xer in me saying this. Number 1, when you left, somebody from Nintendo said, well, I guess we shouldn't have wasted so much money on snacks because they're too good for our snacks. They wouldn't touch our snacks. And number 2, which is not at you because clearly you were on time, if Mr. Nintendo
I was 15 minutes
invites
early
you to their office, you show up on time. And by on time, I mean at least a half an hour before your scheduled appointment.
Okay, you know what was really bad is I was so nervous about this entire meeting that I got there an hour early and I just walked around the block over and over again.
I would do that. I would do that.
I would find a place to go sit nearby and be like, I'm peacing out and doing my breathing
but it's New York
exercises.
City. Nobody sits in New York City.
Yeah,
everybody sits in New York City. What are you talking about over here?
I was walking around. It wasn't
How dare
like
you.
it wasn't like a businessy more. It was. Oh wait, Will might know where this is. It was like a street over from Koreatown. Although Koreatown, I think, is like a single street in New York.
What? I've never been to a Koreatown. Korea did not exist when I was living in the New York area.
No, they didn't come in until after the 80s.
So you know, Will makes a good point. I walked up 15 minutes early and they were like, wow, you're here already. And I was like, well, yeah. But yeah, the other my appointment had one no show. They canceled. They canceled on Mr. Nintendo. And then there was another person that was like 5 minutes late. I don't know what gaming outlet. He was not a content creator. So again, maybe some behind the scenes here. Nintendo said this was the first time they've brought content creators in for something like this, and that these presentations have been done for media. So you have your Polygon, your IGN, your Game Explain, your GameSpot, your Nintendo Life. So I know he was from an outlet. I don't know the other guy either. But the guy who was late, I have no clue what outlet he was from. He didn't say anything to me. He didn't. I don't know. I got the vibe that he didn't like Pokemon, but I don't know. Maybe he loved Pokemon. He just
Nice.
He just didn't.
And confirm you did not get to meet Simone de Rochefort?
No. What?
Dang.
Oh, come on.
What is
Why
life?
do we
It's-
send you to these things?
I know.
Can you send one of us who actually are willing to chat with people and
Mr.
hunt
Nintendo,
people
can
down?
you get me in the same slot as Simone de Rochefort?
Correct.
Please.
Please, because we need to be besties.
I already am her bestie. She just doesn't know it.
Oh,
yet,
I mean,
okay?
valid.
Okay, so today's episode is going to be just a little bit of news, and then it'll go to break. We'll include the 90-minute episodes of what I played, and then we'll do question of the week, Pokemon of the week. So we already have 90 minutes built in because of that segment. So we're going to try to get through this news a little bit quicker here. The first bit of news that I have is where'd it go? Oh, here it is. You can encounter Glastrier and Spectrier in max raid battles by the time that this episode goes up. That will be over because it ends on October 23rd.
Why was this one only a weekend?
I think because they're going to do one more. That's my speculation.
But
Because-
they could go until Thursday and be like, and then the changeover happens. I don't get why this one was so short.
Because they're really the one person that knows how to hit the end raid button only works on Sundays.
Well, for crying out loud, they can. Janine,
No, they've got to redo the servers and test and
They
all
gotta
that
zap
kind of
the
stuff.
pram.
And there's just lots of ghosts to happen in October.
So yeah, we didn't cover this news, but like a week or two ago, they pretty much said that there will be no more updates after November 1st to Pokemon Sword and Shield. So what that means is like whatever the last competitive season is going to be the final competitive season, which is 2 restricted legendaries, no mythicals, pretty much the format used for Worlds. So you will still be able to get like the master rank ribbon. There will still be like ranked battles. It's just that it's not going to reset anymore. It's just going to live forever. Eventually it will probably shut down when the Switch eventually shuts down. And then the wild area will not have any more rotation. So whatever the wild area will be, which I don't actually know. I don't know if they're going to, the first version of the wild area, it was like 1% Gigantamax Lapras, and then like 3 months later, it was like 50% Gigantamax Lapras. I don't know what final version of the wild area they're going to leave with us. But when they said that, I looked at the calendar and I was like, well, we really, they always update these raid battles on Thursdays. We really only have like 2 Thursdays left. We have the 20th and the 27th. And there's no way they're not going to go all of October without doing one final raid battle. And then the 20th came. They did the Glastrier, Spectrier in raids. You cannot catch them. You couldn't catch them, I should say that, because it's gone. The rewards were really good, though. You were guaranteed 100% an ability capsule. You were 70% guaranteed a bottle cap, 40% for a golden bottle cap, and then 100% for all these super, super rare berries. And so, like, if you're not a competitive person, you're probably like, oh, I don't care about any of these competitive items. You can still use them if you like to play through the story or you want to just power up your favorite personal Pokemon. But if you're not a competitive person, maybe you're a curry person, those berries were really, really good for getting Charizard class if you wanted to finish your curry ducks or just get Charizard class in general. Those berries were super good. And then I think it was like you got 6 guaranteed XL candy and 6 guaranteed large candy, which is really, really great for leveling up your Pokemon again. They were pretty easy raids, I would say. But yeah, they were not catchable. This was not the first time they have not done. This is not the first time there has been raids that were not catchable. They did Urshifu. I want to say 2 months back. They did Mewtwo. They did Zeraora. They did a Gigantamax Cinderace at one point. That was part of another package, but the Cinderace was not catchable. They did one more too. I can't think of it. But yeah, they had a really good track record of having a raid weekend last 10 days, and this one went back to 3. So we have one more Thursday left, the 27th. I'm curious if we'll get a final raid battle. My speculation, if I was to guess, I would guess the final one would be Eternatus. Like big hand Eternatus.
I could see it.
But no catching, just like battling.
Why can't we just catch these at this point?
Because they don't want you to have a million Glastriers and Spectriers.
Yeah, they're special.
Look, they want you to buy $30 DLC. You want to get Manaphy? Go buy Pokemon Ranger. Go buy that terrible game.
I mean, it can read what I purchased.
Excuse me, you better walk that back right now. Pokemon Ranger is a fantastic game. Thank you.
You know, I think there's another conversation to be have about how Pokemon Go has really kind of sucked all the life out of legendary Pokemon. You just pay $1 and there's your legendary. You want 20 Xerneas? $20.
I'm sorry. I did a number of Xerneas raids and only caught one. So that was like a $5 Xerneas. Thank you.
I don't know what else they could do, though. Because they did do Urshifu. I guess they could put, like, Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno. I don't know if that would be, like, a good final raid.
Yeah, because you mean in Sword and Shield? I thought you were still talking about Pokemon Go.
Oh, no, sorry.
Like, I need more of those birds in my Pokemon Go. I've only got 40 of each.
They can't do... Some people were like, oh, a good final raid would be Zamazenta and Zacian. But they don't Dynamax. They don't get big, so that
I mean, they could get big.
They
could be big. Like this would be the rare big form. Unlock that Gigantamax form that's hidden. It's going to be the Floette that we never got released.
Oh,
that'll be the
okay,
final.
okay.
Yes, exactly.
And you can't catch that either. It'll just be there, taunting.
I would be severely disappointed if the 27th comes and there's no raid battle, because then the argument would be like, okay, why didn't you just make Spectrier and Glastrier 10 days then? Because the 10th day would have been the 30th, which is a Sunday, which you would have ended it, and you already said there's going to be no updates after November 1st, which is 2 days later. So, yeah. Cool that they did that. I mean, like, again, some people are upset that you couldn't catch them. To be fair, though, if you bought Sword or Shield, you can get as many horses as you want, because you can make a new profile and you can run through, and yeah, you gotta be Leon.
Which is all the more reason I should just be able to catch them.
Just, trade somebody for it. They don't want their horse.
Everybody wants a horse. Everybody loves a horse.
Did I play through this game? Do I have both? I think I have both horses.
I don't think I actually have both horses, because I didn't actually finish that on my second game.
I think I had to play through anyways, because I needed another Urshifu. And then they get you a third time. You got to play through a third, because you evolved the Kubfu into both Urshifus because you played twice, but then you don't have a Kubfu anymore.
And you know what my issue is? I stopped at Glastrier and Articuno because I can still hear that daggone bird, but I can't find it anywhere.
You gotta go to the bottom of the mountain.
So
Reggies, I got no Reggies. I got whatever else comes after that. Nope.
So Will, this is the last month before the new game comes out. Are we just marathoning all the Dynamax adventures for shinies? Is this our plan?
I mean, I've tried that before. But the sad news is that the current version of Monster Hunter is so incredibly complicated that I spend like 3 hours on it a day, and I still can't get through it. So I'm still Monster Huntering it up.
How old is the Crown Tundra at this point? Almost 2 years. Almost 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And I think I have caught maybe 4 legends in Dynamax Adventure because my thought process was like, I already have these legends. I'll eventually shiny hunt them. And then I did a million Dynamax Adventures for one specific legend, which was Landorus, and then I didn't see any of the other ones, and I eventually got Landorus, and then there are so many uncaught legends. I haven't even gotten Regigigas, which is like I have all the Regis. I just got to put them in my party and go to the den and have him pop up.
I didn't have a Lucky or Draco yet. Like, I haven't done any of that stuff. The problem is that I keep thinking I want to play Pokemon Unite.
And then you play it and you go, why am I here?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right, Pokemon Go news. There's like 2 Halloween events. There's a Halloween event happening right now, so I guess we won't talk about that. There's the Halloween Go event, Part 2, 2022. This was off PokemonGoLive.com, October 19th. Thursday, October 27th, from 10 a.m. to Tuesday, November 1st to 10 a.m. local time. You will be able to get a Vulpix wearing a Spooky Festival costume, which then can evolve into a Ninetales wearing a Spooky Festival costume. A Gengar wearing a Spooky Festival costume. It's just a hat. Oh, for Vulpix, it's just like a scarf.
Is it spooky?
If you close your eyes, it is. Pumpkaboo wearing a Spooky Festival costume, and then Gourgeist wearing a Spooky Festival and those are, it looks like a bow, or like a top hat.
Bow and a hat. Bow and a hat and a bow and a hat. There's a Dracula type collar for Vulpix. There's a witch's hat for Gengar, and then there's a tiny top hat and weird bow for Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist.
Okay, I'm gonna complain here, as we haven't hit our complaint quota yet for the episode.
Okay, YouTube comments come for Captain Negativity here.
Yes,
Leave me
exactly.
alone.
Exactly.
This is the hot take, by the way. I totally get that Charizard is overrated. People love Charizard. They put Charizard in everything. But there is more. There are multiple Ghost-type Pokemon. A lot of them. Why is it always... Gengar is on so much merchandise. They got a Build-A-Bear Gengar over at Build-A-Bear. And you can stuff that Gengar up and then buy a $40 heart for him and then buy a $20 varsity Pokemon jacket for that. There is... Like, go to Pokemon Center right now. Pull over in your car.
Okay.
Crank it over to the side, pull over safely, open up your phone, go to PokemonCenter.com, click the Halloween section. It is 95% Gengar merchandise.
Good.
There is just like very cool that Vulpix Vulpix ain't even a ghost Pokemon and it got a spooky costume. Cool, I'm down with that. There are a lot of Vulpix lovers out there too. Gengar has he's had like 30 costumes in Pogo. What about Shuppet?
I searched for Gengar in Pokemon Center, and it says 0 out of 0 products.
Don't use the Pokemon Center search engine. It's bad.
Gengar is the OG. You gotta
so is
honor.
Charizard.
No, Charizard's not a ghost.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Gengar is the OG ghost.
Yeah.
That's the ghost you
because
want.
Gen 1 had 3 ghost Pokemon.
I went to the Halloween collection. There are 0 out of 0 products. You know, PokemonCenter.com is the greatest website that ever
Did you get
created.
banned again?
Because if you try to shop for things, it says, no, you can't have that.
You don't spend enough money on their website, Greg, so you don't get the priority access.
I tried. You know how it took me over 24 hours to buy a Rosalia jacket? 24 hours.
I would wager to bet that Gengar has been flying under the radar all these years, but this boy has so much merch and so much being featured in multiple games and events. that I think Gengar is giving Charizard a run for his money. Also, Gengar will only be available in raid battles. The Vulpix can be shiny. The Ninetales cannot be shiny. Although they didn't say if you could find a wild Ninetales. The Gengar can be shiny, and the Pumpkaboo can be shiny. Which is weird because Pumpkaboo can't be shiny now? Hold on, let me verify that. But Pumpkaboo will turn shiny.
It's okay for them to allow Pumpkaboo to be shiny
Yes,
for a
Pumpkaboo
Halloween
cannot
event.
be shiny now, but it will be shiny on Thursday.
Yes, that's okay. That's allowed.
I'm already up to 8 Gengar products on the Halloween collection, and I'm not at past the first 3 rows.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But you know what's sweet is that Gengar T-shirt.
Oh,
We got
it's
to see
so
that
good.
on Friday night. That was looking good.
It's so much better in person.
There's 2 paid time research tickets. I will just full disclosure, Niantic gave me both these tickets for free, so thanks Niantic for saving me $6, I guess. I would have bought them anyways. The first ticket for $1 gets you timed research that will feature Yamask. This was free for the LGM stuff. I don't know if you guys remember that, where it was like catch 1 psychic, catch 5 psychic, catch 10 psychic. You have to pay $1 for that now. For $5, you can purchase a ticket that gets you timed research for increased candy, additional Halloween-themed task, and an avatar item. The avatar item is the little Pumpkaboo lantern character pose, which is very cute. I will say I do personally think I would have paid the $5 of my own money if Niantic didn't provide me a free ticket. It does require you to play the game though. Like if you want an easy like $5 for an item, you have to like walk 2 kilometers. You have to get like 1 excellent throw. You have to like send like 14 gifts. You have to get like 10 curveballs. They don't have to be like in a row, but what I'm saying is you do have to actually play the game. I did do it in about 2 hours of like heavily playing Pokemon Go. Like that's what I was out playing Pokemon Go for 2 hours at Gold Medal Park. And so just a heads up, these are timed. So if you purchase the $5 ticket and November 1st rolls around and it's 10:01 a.m. and you didn't finish it, it goes away and you don't get the avatar item you paid for. Which, if I could say anything about these tickets, why do that? Well, I paid for it. Even if it's like catch 20 Pumpkaboo and I have to wait a full year for 20 Pumpkaboo, that's fine. I paid for it. I'll wait the full year. It clearly wasn't important enough for me to finish now. This is not a Niantic issue, though. There's tons of video games that do this, where it's like you pay for some.
It's bad every time.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's like I paid for it, and whatever. It sucks.
What's Pokemon Go all about? Should I get into that game?
Yeah. I mean, there's no dating simulator like Pokemon Masters.
Well, I'm out. Sorry.
But you could find a boyfriend in the real world through Pokemon Go because
Yeah,
you get
but-
together in person for raids and meet so many
yeah.
nice people.
I don't believe that actually happens. Plus, I'd have to take my wedding ring off.
You need to watch more Hallmark movies.
True.
Hallmark
I
movies
do.
will give you faith in finding boyfriends through
When
Pokemon
are you
Go
inviting
again.
me over for a marathon?
When I move to a new house that's not a horror house of horrors. So next year. And you won't come because it'll be in St. Paul.
I will come to St. Paul if I have a good reason to go to St. Paul.
St. Paul's a weird city.
Get out of here.
Tell me about it.
Get out of here.
There will be special research. If you get the 7K eggs, Yamask, Galarian Yamask, Phantump, Golett, and Noibat are in 7K eggs. Phantump and Golett cannot be shiny. Pikachu with a hat is returning. I believe this is the same Pikachu as last year. There was a question in our Slack whether, like, all Gen 1 Pokemon can be shiny in Pokemon Go now that the Kanto Tour happened. And I was like, I don't think that's true. Like sometimes when Charizard with a party hat was like available, he could be shiny. And like when there was like the Women's Day event, which was like 4 years ago, like Nidoqueen could be shiny in the wild. But like right here on their graphic, they're like Haunter cannot be shiny. Like I don't know why we're still in this weird.
Well,
and we said that because like there was an event like 2 weeks ago where they just decided to have just middle evolution spawn, and it was like, why are they spawning middle evolution Kanto Pokemon that can't be shiny? Like just give me the base form that at least.
But like you can get a shiny Ghastly and evolve it into a shiny Haunter, so technically you can have a shiny Haunter in Pokemon Go.
Yeah, but any Haunter I see in the wild, there's 0 point to tap on it because it can't be shiny unless I want Gengar candy. But I don't need Gengar candy because Gengar's been around for 5 years. I'm swimming in Gengar candy.
What if Haunter is your favorite Pokemon? Then you have 100% reason to tap on that. Look at how many Roselias. Greg only keeps Roselias in his Pokemon Go.
And in my home. Look, I'm lousy with them, and I want more all the time. All you people who think you're a fan of your Pokemon, nuh-uh, you're not. I waited 24 hours with the world's worst website to buy one jacket. That is my commitment.
Piplup is also coming back with a costume, which I think was from last year. So I guess Turtwig and Chimchar did not get the memo. But
they aren't cute enough. Piplup is cute enough.
There is also a new avatar where you could be like a Dusclops. That's in the store now. Lavender Town music is playing at night. It's been 5 years. I've still not heard this Pokemon Go remix.
They put it on YouTube.
I don't play with the sound on.
You don't have to. Go to YouTube and look it up and just listen to it. It's really good.
And I would like our listeners to understand that not only is Steve so obnoxious about not playing with the sound on, he complains that I play with the sound on.
No, you only play with the sound on to annoy me.
No. So when we play together, I keep headphones in so I can enjoy the sound and not have to hear complaints about it.
Now,
Will, we get lunch together and you'll keep your headphones in.
That is not true.
Don't
I was
agree
raised better than that.
with Steve on many things. Virtually nothing. But
Sure.
I do agree about the sound in Pokemon Go. It should always be off. There's no reason. There's no reason to have the announcer on in Pokemon Unite, and there is no reason to have the sound on in Pokemon Go.
I would turn there was one game that I would always play with the sound on, and that was Clash Royale, and one because you needed
Only for Hog Rider.
Well, okay, two things. You needed to hear when certain units dropped because sometimes people would drop units underneath another unit and you couldn't see it, but you could hear it. Like, oh, I know for sure they played something. But secondly, you needed to hear the Hog Rider voice, which was like, Hog Rider! And that in itself made me want to continue playing Clash Royale. It was
then
very
it got
good.
real bad.
The thing about Pokemon Go sound is it's been bad since day one. It is maybe because I am the actual boomer out of the three of us.
Correct.
That sound is so ear piercing. The ching like open menu sound and like the do and then when you're like it's all very jarring.
I went into the settings of Pokemon Go and turned off all the sounds just in case I started it up with my phone not on silent to ever avoid having those sounds ever play. I have a third question now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Will the raids that are coming next weekend drop the soundtrack for Sword and Shield?
No, of course not. Okay, here's the secret. Somebody's going to make like a video in either 5 or 10 years, and it's going to be titled "The Secret of Pokemon Sword and Shield That Nobody Knew Until Now." They actually lost the rights to their own music.
I would not be
accidentally
surprised.
signed away the rights to their own music to North Korea, And since North Korea doesn't believe in music for anyone, nobody can have it.
The Japanese Pokemon Twitter account tweeted a picture of vinyl cover, like vinyl albums, and one was Scarlet and one was Violet, and I couldn't help but think, that's tight. But what about Sword and Shield music? What's happening here? Drifblim wearing a hat is also coming back in 3-star raids. Origin form Giratina is coming on Thursday. If you're listening to this on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, Giratina with the feet is available right now.
For all you feet fans, Giratina's got them. They got a lot of them.
Cut it out.
Giratina with the feet right now. Mega Banette made its debut in raids, and man, Mega Banette is a cool Pokemon. It's not a useful Pokemon by any means, but it is cool looking. I usually gravitate towards derpy Pokemon, personally, but Mega Banette hits that like cool design itch that I'm like very into.
I mean,
like,
2 of its faces are kind of derpy. It's got multiple tongues coming out of them.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I played a lot with Armor Rogue, when I played my hour session. And it gave me, like, Bisharp feels, except it was a fire Pokemon. Which, like, and I don't have any problem with Armor Rouge. It's just, like, I didn't feel like any connection. Like, and I'm sure there are tons of people that love that Pokemon, are very excited for that Pokemon. I'm very happy for those people. Just not my style of Pokemon. But it looked cool. It definitely had cool vibes. The final thing here is oh boy. Here we go. Practice my Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien. Ocho, gato. Okay. I can't do it. De Muertos? Muertos?
Oh my god.
Dia de los Muertos.
Dia de... There's no los.
Oh, well then Dia de Muertos.
Yeah. There we go. Whew, we got there together.
I mean, in English we say day of the day.
We have talked about this day for at least 4 years now, and we have gone over the pronunciation for at least 4 years.
Hey, how do you...
What's also funny, and I did make a comment of it a few weeks ago,
okay,
but I'm sure somebody else noticed, where Steve said, Pokemon Go doesn't care about Mexico. And I was like, they specifically had a promotion that was Mexico only like 2 or 3 years ago. And they've done a Dia de Muertos event numerous times.
See.
Yeah, but that's not Brazil. I think I said South America.
No, you said Mexico.
Oh,
you
okay.
literally said Pokemon Go
Mexico.
does not care about Mexico.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the Pokemon Company also doesn't care about Mexico and South America because they never get distributions. They didn't get the Volcanion, Marshadow, whatever.
Oh, dang. I have to... well.
Don't go to Ball America GameStop. They're already out. I checked.
How long does that... And one of them's at Target?
Yeah, but the Target one hasn't started yet. Target one starts on the 30th.
Okay.
De Merto. I can't. What? How do you say the crown? Oh boy. Chimpasa crown.
What are you talking about?
The
flower crown.
It starts with a C.
What crown are you talking about?
The crown. It's a flower crown.
We'll go to this press release.
Can you give me a link, please?
I posted the link.
Where did you... Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So it's named after, what was it, mums that are the orange flowers?
Sure.
Cempasúchil.
Oh, that sounded pretty accurate. I don't know. Sounded good to me.
It's a flowering marigold.
Marigolds. There you go.
Which? people keep saying there's going to be a regional version of Roselia that's using these flowers. And I said, no, actually a fan person made that already. And so Pokemon Company will never make that because the fan version is really cool and they're never going to touch it now.
Mm-hmm.
This is a holiday observed in Mexico. Other parts of America celebrates the lives and memories of... Wasn't there a movie on this?
Yes, it's Coco. It's a brilliant movie.
Yeah, I think I watched the first hour. And then I don't know why... And then I fell asleep.
Sounds about right.
I'm not... was that Disney?
It's Disney Pixar, yes.
Yeah. I just...
Somebody get me to a cultured podcast.
Well, let me tell you about culture here, Greg. In an ancient Aztec tradition, it is said that the spirits of our loved ones never go away, but simply travel to a different world. And during a special time each year, they would return to our world. Ever since that, people celebrate DDM, get ready for this occasion, setting the table,
Dance Dance Revolution,
setting the table with their favorite dishes of their ancestors, covering the streets with petals of those flowers that I cannot say, and lighting the candles and incense to enjoy a joyful celebration of colors, music, flowers, and favors. There will be a Duskull wearing the marigold crown. It will also be able to evolve into a Dusclops and a Dusknoir wearing the crown. During this event, which will last only 2 days, November 1st and November 2nd, and it's not even all day, it's literally less than 48 hours, this event is. Lure modules will last 90 minutes. Incense will last 90 minutes, and you will get twice the amount of catch candy. There will be a collection challenge, and at the end of the collection challenge, you will get an Alolan Marowak and a Poffin if you complete it. Cubone, Chinchou, Sunkern, Roselia, Litwick, Swirlix will appear more frequently in the wild. All of those could be shiny. If you're lucky.
My favorite.
You can get Duskull, Drifloon, Yamask. The lure modules will attract Duskull, Houndoom. They are saying the Houndoom can be shiny. That's a first stage Pokemon. Second, I don't know, evolution Pokemon. Sunflora will also be attracted by incense and lure modules. Sunflora just randomly cannot be shiny, but really no reason, even though Sunkern can be shiny, and even though you're saying that Houndoom can be shiny, you're just Sunflora can't be shiny, so sure, okay. Field research will include Cubone, Roselia, Litwick, Duskull, Houndoom. All of those can be shiny. Duskull will be in 1-star raids. Dragonite, Sableye, Druddigon will be in 3-star raids. Dragonite cannot be shiny, even though... Why not?
We're literally having a community day.
Yeah, why not make it shiny? Just
we are literally having another community day for that pink dragon.
Do you want more dollars? Because I assure you people will spend dollars on Dragonite if it could be shiny, even though they shouldn't because the community day is happening. But, why? Just turn it on. Just click the button. There will be avatar items in the store. I believe that when this happened, last year, it was worldwide as well, but Mexico had more features or something. I remember reading 2 press releases. If you were in Mexico, you would get this, and if you were outside of Mexico, you would get this. But it seems like everyone is getting the same thing this year, which is a win for the world. Maybe not a win for Mexico, but maybe they wanted their special events to themselves. But it seems like a good event, minus that it's not even 48 hours long. But also, I don't know. I already saw a bunch of YouTubers being like, this is going to be the rarest shiny ever. It's only going to be 20. Look, it'll come back next year. It'll be fine. Apparently, one of the rarest shinies ever was the Pikachu wearing the One Piece hat. But boy, all it took was a question mark unknown, and people were offering me those shiny Luffy Pikachus left and right. Don't underestimate the power of a non-shiny Pokemon. Unknown question mark was selling like hotcakes over at GoFest. That's last bit of Pokemon Go news. Sorry, there was quite a bit of Pokemon Go news. They are just pumping out Halloween events. There is a global map refresh. They said it's been 3 years since our last map update. Oh, Niantic, we have noticed.
Yeah, we know.
The Pokemon Go map will undergo a visual refresh to more accurately reflect the real world and how it's changed since our last update. After this update, you will be able to see local changes from recent years appear on the map. This may include the removal of old roads or the appearance of new buildings. Soon, different Pokemon will appear in even more places than before. In densely populated areas, this could mean you could see a different number of Pokemon as before, but they will be more spread out. You will also see Pokemon appearing in different locations. For trainers who don't live in the city, or if you live in an area that is rapidly expanding, this will also increase the number of Pokemon that appear overall. Thank you for playing Pokemon Go. Please be aware of your surroundings. Hey, can we talk? Did you guys look at Pokemon Go since the Halloween event? The map is tight. They visually changed the map.
The PSL map?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I play Pokemon Go every day. Yes, I have looked at it. It looks
it's
like
great.
Somebody ate some pea soup. It didn't agree with them, and it has come back out all over society.
You don't like the way it looks, Will?
It's
very festive.
It looks like fall. Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't opened that app since Community Day.
Which one was that? That was not long ago. Which community day did we do?
Litwick.
Litwick.
Last Saturday.
Yeah, and then Will and I got B-dubs.
Greg stole my fries.
Greg had a dinner appointment. He couldn't do B-dubs with us.
I almost want to put new words to Marceline's song, like Steven, why did you steal my fries?
I did it. I ordered the fries.
I went to a lovely place and got a delicious burger.
You could have had wings. Man, I really like wings.
We know. I got wings last night at the game center.
The one, Fantasy Flight?
It's not Fantasy Flight anymore. It's Game Center.
The Game Center.
Zenter. It's a Z.
Oh,
Don't ask. It's the world's worst name that has ever existed, and I hate it, but whatever. It's
and they also
keep
changing the menu, and I'm like, please stop.
Will, this literally yesterday went there, and this is what the guy at the cash register said, to give you a hint of what my evening was like. I don't know the answer to that. We're all new employees. There's only one person who's been here longer than anybody else because we've all been hired in the last week.
Sounds about right.
And I about lost it.
You rent board games, you sit down, you order some food. How complicated of a job is that?
You don't rent them. They're just there. It was the ordering food that became increasingly difficult for whatever reason. And a person wanted a pitcher of water, and they literally had to search their entire area to find a pitcher to put water in. And
Yeah, I'm starting what is that site where you do petitions?
Change.org?
Change.org. Please, Asmodee, buy Game Center back please.
from the terrible owner of Fantasy Flight Games.
Okay. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to include the 90-minute session.
This is a long one this week, folks. Sorry.
If you're listening to the premium version, I'm probably not going to include that because you already had it.
and
that
you're getting plenty already. We're at 48 minutes.
That would just require you to skip it. And so...
before, just one quick thing, and this is relevant to ad breaks and such and premium versions. Only one person noticed on one of the recent episodes that I produced and published that I put the song in reverse. Only one person commented, which makes me think that people are just skipping the song completely. I literally played it backwards.
I don't think I know.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't notice at all either. We need to take a break. We'll be right back. BRB. And we are back from our break. Greg, hit us with the question of the week.
I'm sorry. It's bleh. My mouth stopped working for 2 seconds. Let's reel back. Start that over again. I'm sorry, but it's question time. I want to hear the question of the week.
Jeez, if you really love question of the week, I answered over 75 questions.
People love my part of it, and they're very, very lukewarm on your part of it.
I put that video up on YouTube on Sunday. It's titled 75 Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Questions Answered. I've said this before. I haven't looked at any of the leaks. I don't know what has been confirmed or not confirmed in the leaks. So there might be somebody that'll be like, we know this because of the... I don't know. I didn't look. I'm assuming part of the reason why I was invited was because I didn't make YouTube videos about leaks. Nintendo is very in tune with who's making what content out there, as is Pokemon. I have talked to the people from Pokemon many times, and they are very okay with Nuzlocke. They are not okay with randomizers.
Yep.
They do not like you randomizing and emulating your game in whatever fashion. Anyways, a question that I guess I'm pulling from various YouTube things. I do want to kind of clarify this one more time because I think it's important, is what happens when you terastallize. And I'm gonna use a Tyranitar example. So the question is, if I have Tyranitar, which is rock and dark type, and I terastallize to Ghost, will I lose my advantage of having Stab, which is same type attack bonus, on my Tyranitar, so then I am no longer weak to fighting? In fact, fighting can't do any damage to me because I'm Ghost. And the answer is, I'm 99% sure on this because I've talked to multiple Nintendo people, and so did Joe from Sarumi, and he got the same answer, is you don't lose your original Stab, but you gain a new Stab. But you're still weak to the thing you terastallize to. So let me give you an example. So let's just pretend that Rock Slide and Crunch do 100 damage. I know they don't, but for this example, we're going to do basic math. So if I'm Tyranitar and I use Rock Slide, I'm actually doing 150 damage because I am a Rock type Pokemon. So I get a 50% boost to my move. So my Rock Slide does 150 damage, my Crunch does 150 damage, and then let's just say I have Hyper Beam, and Hyper Beam does 100 damage. Hyper Beam only does 100 damage because it doesn't match it. Now if I was a Lechonk using Hyper Beam, it would do 150 damage because Lechonk's type is normal. That's just how Stab works. That's, again, those are just rough numbers. So if I'm a Tyranitar and I have Rock Slide and Crunch, they're doing more damage because it matches my type. And then my last move is Shadow Claw, and let's just assume that Shadow Claw also does 100 damage. Before I hit that Terastallize button, Shadow Claw does 100 damage. When I Terastallize into a Ghost type, my Shadow Claw will now do 150 damage because I am now a Ghost type Pokemon. So I get the Stab from being a Ghost type. But even though I'm only weak to what Ghost type Pokemon are weak to, which is Ghost and Dark, I am no longer Dark type, I am no longer Rock type, I am Ghost type because I hit that Terastallize button. I still get my Stab from Rock Slide and Crunch because that was my original type. But I am only weak to what Ghost type Pokemon are weak to. That means in the example that the trailer showed, that Gallade couldn't close combat me because I'm no longer Dark or Rock. I'm Ghost. So it's actually, I know when I was saying that and I was like, oh, the person I asked had to ask somebody else. The person I asked at Nintendo had to ask somebody else at Nintendo. It's kind of a complicated question. So another example is, if you were Charizard is flying fire, and you Terastallize into Dragon, you're no longer weak to water because dragon resist water, but you would still get the power that you would get from like an air slash or a flamethrower because Charizard still gets the benefits of fire flying.
So I think the way that I would put that is for attacking, you are a triple type if you were a double type because it adds a type. But
yes,
for defending, you're a monotype.
Yes.
There you
That's
go.
a really good way to explain it. The other really quick question that I don't think I answered in the 75 questions answered was somebody said, what if you have two types and you catch that Pokemon, which Terra type would it be? It's 50-50. So if you catch Lechonk is only normal type. So every Lechonk you catch is normal terrestrialized unless that Lechonk is from a raid or unless that Lechonk has that Super Saiyan glow, which means it would be different.
The yellow, yeah.
If it was like a Roselia, I don't know if Roselia is in the game. I'm just using it because Greg's here.
Why?
If it's a Roselia and you catch it, it's either 50% of the time it's going to be grass, Terra type. The other 50% of the time it's going to be poison, which is kind of maybe unfortunate. Like, let's just say in the Roselia example, like poison is the better Terra type for Roselia, and then you find a shiny one and it ends up being grass. Because you can't control the Terra type. It's just 50-50. But we've already had that problem. That problem's already existed with abilities. They did make an ability capsule, which lets you change it. But, yeah, we know how that works, too. So, there's your... If you want more questions, I answer a lot of them on YouTube. So, I put out a lot of YouTube content. We're trying to get to 50,000 on YouTube. We're at like 43. So youtube.com/PKMNcast if you want to watch that stuff. I did edit the last two videos myself, and I put a lot of work into it to make sure it's not a waste of your time. So if you like it, I don't know, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. The algorithm stuff. All right, Will, Pokemon of the Week.
Oh boy, you went faster than I was ready for. Last week's Pokemon, I was once again talking about yarn stuff and how Angora wool comes from rabbits, but mohair wool comes from Angora goats, and cashmere comes from goats, not sheep. And there's a yarn produced in Kalos, which is only taken from a fully grown creature, but it's considered a plant-based fiber, more similar to bamboo and cotton than wool. So the answer must be...
It's...
Mareep.
No.
Chatot.
It's Go-Goat.
Go-Goat. I said goat like
Goat.
4 times.
Goat.
I was like, you can get wool from goats.
And apparently, really expensive llamas.
Alpacas?
I think a vicuña's more like an alpaca.
Oh.
Do you think anyone actually shops at the alpaca store at Mall of America?
Absolutely, they do.
What?
I mean, maybe not for yarn, but they're shopping for something because that store's been open for 5 years.
Yeah, they don't have yarn at that store, but I literally have $300 of alpaca hanging in my closet right now because that's some good fiber.
Go-Goat, super cute. The shiny is great, and the shuffle icon's great.
Go-Goat and its pre-evolution share their category with Silazar.
Isn't it Cyclizar? Isn't there a second C? Yeah.
It could be bicycle.
I don't think they said that one out loud. All three of those Pokemon are known as the Mount Pokemon. Go-Goat is the only Pokemon with the base stat total of 531. Go-Goat has the highest HP stat of all grass. Really?
Yeah.
Go-Goat has the highest HP stat of
Yeah.
all grass type Pokemon?
Look.
That's insane.
Grass don't have a lot of HP, and Go-Goat's got 123.
In pre-release footage shown at the E3 Developer Roundtable, I love the trivia section of Bulbapedia, Go-Goat's shiny form was shown. However, in the final release, its shiny colors were dramatically changed.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. They have a little picture of it too.
Yeah. The original shiny was bad. The new shiny is great.
Yeah. Go-Go's a really cool Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's like one of those Pokemon that is just really well designed. Like it's not like a pretty Pokemon. It's not like I don't think it's pretty. But I think it's like really well designed. You think it's good looking?
Yeah, it's got a leaf boa on. It's got handlebar horns. It's got cute little feet.
It's growing
and
on me.
you can make a bamboo yarn out of it for $5,000 a spool.
Well, look, those are some rare plants. I also have commentary. I need to insert this for all the people who felt the need to comment and say, well, the video said the name of that Pokemon is Farigiraf. Steve was pronouncing it correctly. When I say that the name of that Pokemon is Farigiraf, if you insist on calling it Farigiraf for the rest of your life, when you see the file format GIF, you must call it a GIF, no matter how dumb that sounds.
But the developer said it was
can't
like the
say
peanut
GIF.
butter.
Cosine.
Cannot say GIF, you must say GIF.
Yep, cosine.
I just want to point out that Dialga's name should be Dial, but you don't say it that way.
This week's Pokemon. This Pokemon, with a strangely deep and feminine voice based on an animal you used to be able to buy in a cup or plastic bag at the school fair, learns 2 moves named specifically for the physical feature on top of its head. Greg, you and I were the only ones around when you could buy these at the school fair.
Wow. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
Can you imagine if they tried that these days?
There would be riots. Oh my God.
You guys remember? Probably the answer is yes. I know you guys remember, but like the early '90s, where like dolphin merchandise was like everywhere.
Oh, there's a new age. That was part of the new age '90s resurgence. Like the dolphin stuff made its way into pop culture, but if you were on a college campus, you were heading to that occult store to buy your witchcraft books and your incense and all of your crystals like every weekend. Yeah, it was part of the huge '90s New Age resurgence. Was the big dolphin peace love, and then Echo the Dolphin came out, and that game ruined it for everybody because the screech it made when it hit rocks was awful.
Yeah, I thought about that the other day. I was like, wow, everyone was like really into dolphins at one point. That was weird. That was a time to be alive.
The '90s was wild.
So we are about a month away from Scarlet and Violet. I would expect us to get like at least one more trailer, and then I would expect like a trailer the week of. But that usually the trailer the week of is like all the trailers like chopped and edited into like the super trailer, please buy our game trailer. Oh, you know, the one thing I was thinking of is because people keep asking about like when are they going to show the middle evolution? They during our hands-on preview, it said that I started with a Quaxley. Like Quaxley was my starter Pokemon. If I went to my trainer, when I went to my trainer card to like go save the game, it said like your starter is Quaxley. Well, I think Sword and Shield did too. I think Sword and Shield was like your starter is Grookey. And there was no Quaxley to be found. In my PC or in my party, and they were definitely okay with us seeing new Pokemon. I saw a handful of Pokemon that they're like you can't talk about, and they were very strict about like you can't talk about this dialogue. You can't talk about this. When Cloth runs away from you, do not chase it. Right? They could have easily said like, don't talk about the starter's middle evolutions. They could have just said that. Like, they would have been the same agreement of, like, don't talk about this character's dialogue.
It's hard if you could use it in your party and it was a key point of your experience in playing the game, and then you say, and I use this Pokemon which I can't say, right? They only wanted to give you Pokemon that you could say.
Yeah. I mean, when I noticed Bellybolt was in the party, they were like, this is Iono's Pokemon, and where like the trailer for that will come out like this Friday, and we couldn't talk about it until the Friday afterwards. So it's like, oh, okay. But yeah, there was there's I don't think there's a Pokemon game that hasn't leaked early, and I know a lot of people will at least want to look at the leaks to see what their starter evolves into. But I don't know if they're gonna like show it early. Like with the Hisuian forms, Decidueye.
Yeah, those came out before the game.
No, they showed those the day the game came out. They put them on Pokemon.com
Right. Yeah.
the day the game came out. And I want to say for like Thwackey, Raboot, and Drizzile, that was like also the day the game came out, but they didn't. I mean, like that player's guide leaked for Sword and Shield, so that's why.
So that got. Oh, this is also my weekly reminder. Please do not link me to links. I don't care about spoilers, but I don't like supporting any of the current leakers out there because I don't think they have anybody's best interest in mind. I will find stuff out on my own when I want to find out about it. Please do not link me or mention me or at me in any of the social medias that link to links. Thank you.
This is what I will also say about leaks. I've said this a couple times on my Twitch stream. Everyone laughs. I posted a video of like me in the shower, like all sad. It was I filmed it a long time ago. I just recycled the content. Reused footage. Yeah. And the joke was like when they haven't shown your favorite Pokemon yet, which Greg couldn't relate to.
It's killing me. But I don't want to know.
And I was wearing a Cramorant shirt, and then the caption was like, "Show Cramorant, please," right? And for whatever reason, on both TikTok and Instagram, people took that as liberty to just like talk about the leaks. So I would say like if the video's not even worth you checking out, like it's just a meme video. But don't read the comments if you don't want to be spoiled. But the thing I will say, and I promise you, you don't have to turn off the audio here. The TikTok people were all like, "Hey, I read the leaks. I hate to break it to you, man. Cramorant didn't make it." And then I went over to the Instagram, and it was wild because the Instagram comments were like, "Hey, I read the leaks. I hate to break it to you," or I read the leaks. I hope this makes your day. Cramorant's in the game, and it's just it's just wild to me that like. there were so many. It wasn't like one person, right? It wasn't like one person on my Instagram was like, "Hey, I read the leak. It was Cramorant," and then it wasn't like it was like one person on my TikTok. It was so many people that were commenting like the leaks say Cramorant is in, and then other people were like, the leaks say Cramorant is not in. So I always find it funny that there's a handful of people out there that live and die by these leaks. They like think they're like set in stone. One of the things that I found interesting, because I did see some leaks early on, and again, you don't have to turn it off, I promise you, because when I played the game, I went to character customization, and there were a bunch of different clothes, right? I could change the shoes, the hat, the gloves, the backpack, and there were 4 school uniforms. And IGN and Sarumi and myself, that we were told that there are more clothes in the game. But the leaker originally said a couple months ago that there was only uniforms. You couldn't actually change that. But the point is, people only remember what the leaker says right. They never remember the multiple things they get wrong, just constantly.
Yeah. So tune in for Will and I's new podcast called Confirmation Bias.
Yeah.
Where we cover all this stuff.
And so, like, 4 weeks. I mean, if there's a Pokedex leak, I'll probably look at it. We will not talk about it on the show unless it's after credits. But yeah, just, you know, I'm super excited for these games. People have commented on the YouTube video that my preview of the games made them more excited. So that's great to hear. And yeah, I'm really glad that there's a lot of positivity around these games compared to Sword and Shield, because I remember reporting on Sword and Shield and it just like felt like a nightmare every episode. And that was during a time where people were calling us shills and we were too positive.
I know. Here's the thing. I just need to know what the current hashtag is going to be so I can preemptively mute it on Twitter.
Good luck.
I know.
You
I
can't
try
know
to
until
find
it
them.
shows up.
Look, if some of you are like, I can't find you on Twitter, chances are I blocked you. Chances are you used a hashtag or something, and I went, nope, I don't care. You're gone. I don't ever want to hear from you.
You get subscribed to my Instagram now for $5 a month.
Why? Where
else are you gonna get the Giratina feet pics, Greg?
Nowhere, because your green is a lie. I only go to people I know that I'm going to get the goods in the green. Your green is like you sitting on a skateboard.
When you said your green is a lie, it took me a second to process what you were saying. We have to end this episode. Thank you for listening. We should have a special guest next week, hopefully. I just talked to them yesterday, and they were like, we're still on? And I said, we're still on, which is a great guest. A great guest is a guest that checks back in to make sure plans don't change. So hopefully we have that guest on next week. But thank you for listening. If you want to find Greg on Twitter, if you can find Greg, it is White Wing. If you want to follow Will on Twitter, that is Wash in the Sink. If you want to follow me on Twitter, that is Dragging a Lake. Otherwise, have a good week in Pokemon Go. If there's any time that you need to dump Pokemon and get your storage back, now is the time. You get double transfer candy for the whole Halloween event. So clear out your Pokemon Go storage. Check out the YouTube, youtube.com/PKMNcast. Thank you for making it to the end. Thank you for listening. We'll have a bunch of exciting stuff coming for you for November. So, check out the Patreon if you haven't done so. But thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next week. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super Nick Burgess's incredible Halloween album, All Night Midnight Monster Party, is out now. Get it. I'm on it. It's incredible.
Yes, featuring Greg Lemon.